Okay, so today we're going to start filling out the periodic table of elements. And so what I've loaded up for you in this module is your blank periodic table of elements, and you're going to start to fill that out. And so there's certain criteria for filling that out. This assignment today is to fill out the first 40 periodic elements and the first 40 elements. And so I want to point out a couple things before you start to do this. First, you need to round off the, um, the atomic masses, and I'm going to show you how to do this and help you, but you're going to round off those atomic masses to the 100th place. So that means you're going to round these atomic masses off to 2 digits after the decimal. So you can see here that the decimal places are 2 digits after the decimal. So I'm going to give you some examples, and then I'm going to write them in for you so that you see how it's done. So don't do anything yet, because I'm going to give you some examples at the end, and I'll do them with you. Now, first of all, I would strongly urge that you do this in pencil. So my first tip, so here are my tips. Tip. Do this in pencil. And I would get a good sharp pencil, and I would get one that writes darkly like mine right now. The reason is because you can see that this periodic table is colored over it. You're not going to color it now. Do not color your periodic table. We're going to do this together as a group. But if you write lightly and then you color over it, you won't be able to see it. But you don't want to do it in pen, because if you do it in pen and you make a mistake, then you're in trouble. So you want it to be sharp and you want it to be dark. This pencil here is really good, a 0.7 from Bic. That's the best. But there are ways to do it lightly and still color over it. These are colored copies I have from kids from last year. This student actually did it in pencil and then they wrote over it in pen. So that's also another way to do it in pencil. And then when you get it right, you can write over it in pen. So the second thing is before you write over it in pen or do anything like that, you're going to want to verify all of your atomic masses. And your atomic mass is this number down here in the bottom. So we're going to do that in class together. We're going to verify all of the atomic masses together. So you might want to go ahead, but if you go ahead, you need to understand that if you go ahead of the assignments, that you might make mistakes. So I am assigning number 1 through 40. That is the assignment here. And on Monday, we're going to go over number 1 through 40, and I'm going to assign the next batch. All right? Okay, so next, the periodic table that you're going to use is in the back of your textbook. So I've turned to that that periodic table for some examples. So, so you can see it's in the back of your textbook, and you can see that, for example, hydrogen says 1.008. So on your periodic table, you are going to have to write the 1, which is the atomic number, and the H, which is hydrogen. You're going to need to write hydrogen, and you're going to need to write 1.01. So hydrogen is 1.01. I got that because I took the 1.008, I drew my line at 2 places, and the 8 rolled over to 1 place. So I have 2 digits after the decimal. Some other ones that we're going to look at is oxygen, which is number 8, atomic number 8. Oxygen, which is written as 15.999. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw our line. We're going to roll that line over. And so what we're going to write in the box is 16.00. So that's what you're going to write in the box for oxygen. So in your box, you would have 8, 0, oxygen, and then 16.00. Okay? The next one that we would want to look at is neon, which is another one that people have been sort of challenged with, which is going to be 20.180 in your textbook. We draw our line. The 0 does not go over, so we're going to cross that out, and we get 20.18. We're going to put that in the box as 10, neon, which is 10, and then neon, N-E, we're going to write neon, and then 20.18, like that, okay? All right, another one that you might want to put in is sodium. So sodium, which is going to be Na, and that starts out as 22.990. So we roll that down there, right? And we see that this is going to end up as 22.99, all right? Okay, so that tells you that. Now, why are we doing this? Why do we have to write our own periodic tables? So in my class, the periodic table is your lifeline, and it's really important because you do not get any other reference materials, and so your periodic table becomes your reference sheet for every test. You don't want to write your notes on them because you write everything that I give you on your periodic table. And so you can see on this one from someone from last year, I made color copies so you can see exactly how they are. And here is your conversion sheet. So you might recognize that. They all have the conversion sheet on it because it's the first thing that they write. And then if I zoom back out, I can show you the front. So some people, like, they don't even finish their periodic table and they don't write everything they need. But other people are super meticulous about their periodic table. And then they're also meticulous about the back. So you can get some that are less filled out on the back or the front, like this. And this person, less filled out. Again, do not color your periodic table. We will do that together. And some that are more filled out. So here's another one that's a little bit more filled out. So here's the back. And I will tell you what to put on your periodic table. You don't have to worry about that. I'll say in class, this is something that you want to put on your periodic table. And some of you will say, nah, I remember this. I don't need this. Some of you will say, oh, yeah, I definitely want this on my periodic table. And you'll pull it out and put it again on right away. I'll tell you whether I think it should go on the front or the back based on when you're going to use it. Maybe this is something that you're always going to use when you use your atomic masses and your atomic numbers. Then you definitely want it on the front of your periodic table. You know, I will help you with this. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that's going to take, yep, this one's a little overwhelming. It's something that's going to take a little while. You know, it's a whole year thing. But the best part about this is that when you leave my class, any other chemistry class that you take, you have your entire chemistry course with you. And so you just pull this out and you have your whole chemistry course that you took right here in front of you. I don't give you any other reference charts, so any reference charts that you need, they're right here. And so that's my gift to you, your binder, because we're keeping it so organized, and your periodic table. And so I've had kids Facebook me from college and say, Ms. Paxton, I just took Chem 1 and I never even had to go to class because I had my periodic table with me. The kid next to me said, what's that? And I said, oh, this came from my chemistry class. And, you know, my chemistry teacher made me do this. And the kid next to him said, I didn't do anything in my chemistry class. I never learned anything. I didn't do anything. But, you know, this is your proof that you learned a lot of chemistry and that you actually took a chemistry course. And here it is, right in front of you. So although this is really overwhelming right now, and this is really overwhelming, I know, Everything that you need is here. There are reference tables, there are constants, there are diagrams of experiments, there are some notes that maybe you didn't remember, there's formulas here, there's everything that you need here to take another chemistry course. And that's my job. My job is to give you something that you can take with you to college so that you get an A. So do not be intimidated. Your job right now, and let's go back to it, your job is to fill out number 1 through 40 with the atomic number, the atomic mass rounded off to 2 digits, the name, and the symbol. All right? And then you come back and we'll go over those and we'll move on to the next set. All right, that's all you have to do.